Hello, everybody. It is your boy Thugalicious Prime here, and today we have this U.S. history project that I got going on. And today we're going to be talking about a very interesting layer and period of America's Cold War. And today we're going to be talking about the MK Ultra, the infamous declassified CIA program of mind control. And the history of MK Ultra has its roots in World War II with two projects, Project Bluebird and another project that I forgot the name of. Project Bluebird was designed to basically train soldiers against interrogation. Like if they were captured, their training from Bluebird can help them not spill the beans, if you will. um, and the other program was designed to train people to allow them to do operations without hesitation or without any moral backlash. Um, and MK Ultra was started out of the Red Scare of the 1950s, um, because the U.S. government feared that the Soviet Union was using things like, I forgot what it's called, subliminal messages, propaganda, subliminal messaging, and stuff like that to not only control its own people, but to also influence the American people. And so, to counteract this alleged fear, the CIA was tasked with a program called MK Ultra, which, fun fact, the name MK Ultra is what's known as a cryptogram. The MK part stands for, I think, TSS, which stands for Technical Staff Service. And the Ultra part is basically like, I don't know, I think it's the name. I think just the general name for a very special division during World War II. I don't know. But for the okay. And what happened in MK, but like what was it? What did they do specifically in MK Ultra? Um So the biggest thing when looking into MK Ultra are drugs. Many survivors who say that they were a part of the program say that they were given drugs, things like LSD and other hallucinogens, mm, as well as other forms of hypnosis, if you will, like isolation, electroshock therapy, and stuff like that. And that's where the arguments and controversies start to come in, because many alleged survivors of the program say that they were heavily abused during the program by whoever was looking after them, whoever was, once again, they were literally like given drugs. And another fact is that the people in the program were not like volunteers, um, according to the declassified, because it is a declassified program. You can look it up in the official CIA website. It was declassified, and I think in 1977 or 5. And many people who were part of the program say that they were first left in a room to hear like a compliment or a phrase over and over again. After that, they were giving electroshock therapy and then drugs and other forms of hypnosis to see what the mind would do and what would happen to them, and stuff like that. And allegedly, many people died because of said procedures. And it's said that over like around 1973, most of the documents and paperwork for MK Ultra were destroyed. However, in 19, I think 1977 or 5, I don't know, they were able to recover over to 20,000 papers that ultimately led to the declassification of MK Ultra. I think in 1977, most likely 75. Or who knows? I don't know. I get the two dates confused. Allegedly, it was also declassified through a murder because once again, it has its roots in other true programs, and allegedly, MK Ultra was also used with quote unquote sleeper agents, if you will, which in itself is a whole can of worms. Once again, this program is heavily conspiratorial. Of course, the actual program is confirmed. It is a real program, like everything, like the drugs and abuse are confirmed to actually have happened. However, it does easily delve into conspiracy side. So that's up to your devices to look into and judge for yourself. And ultimately, the official CIA report ultimately states that the program was ultimately just a waste of money and waste of time. That ultimately, yes, it did like further research in like drug studies and therapies and what people can go through under set conditions. However, according to the CIA directors under the program, they ultimately said that the program was ultimately led to nothing. It was nothing but a massive torture fest, essentially what it was. It had no real substance allegedly, and that's ultimately where the conspiracy starts to come in, because many people claim, okay, what are they not saying us? Because as far as we're concerned, maybe it did lead to something, but who knows? Um, and I forgot to mention this. I was going to say this earlier, but the people, the people that were used in the program were not like volunteers. They were mostly people that, for the most part, the U.S. public will not really care about per se. People like from prisons, asylums, juvenile detention centers, hospitals, until there are people that are more easily to get and to like build false narratives around. Like if a person suddenly dies because of a drug overdose because of the program, they can just say they just died in a hospital under medical reasons or whatever. And the whole subject of MK Ultra is very. It's an interesting part of the Cold War in general, as it just adds to the extent that the U.S. government would go to fight communism and to go against their enemy of the Soviet Union. And and it just kind of makes you wonder how many other programs, once again, that delves more into conspiracy. So I will not really go into that, but it is a part that I feel should be mostly at least brought up at least once when talking about the Cold War and how the CIA and general U.S. government tried to outdo the USSR, because there were many fronts with the Cold War. We have the arms race, the space race, and allegedly the mind control race. Um, and yeah, it's a very interesting topic. It's one of the more well-known declassified programs of the CIA. There are definitely way more. That's a very interesting thing to get into. That's all I have for today. It is your boy Thuggalicious Prime signing out, son.